Hi, this is Professor Salazar. Today I'm going to be showing you a cryptography tool that's specifically used for steganography called Steghide. Steghide can be used to embed data within images. So if you ever have data that you want to protect, you can hide it within an image, and you would not be able to see what's inside that image unless you supply a password, and then it can actually show you the data that's embedded in that image. So today I'm going to be using my Ubuntu Linux operating system so that I can show you how you can use Steghide to embed data within an image. And this is what you would call steganography. All right. So I'm going to first start by sharing my screen, and then I'll be using my Ubuntu system, and I'll be entering in some commands in the Linux operating system so that you can follow along and see how Steghide actually works. So I'm going to go and start by sharing my screen. And this is my desktop. I'm on my Windows 11 computer right now. And the first thing that I'm going to do is open up my Linux operating system. And I have it right here. Okay. When you first load it, the first thing that you should always do is check for updates. So I'm going to type in sudo apt update. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I'm going to go back and share my screen. And I'm going to apply updates to my Linux operating system by typing in sudo apt update. And it says that all packages are up to date. So I actually don't need to upgrade anything on my Linux system. The next thing that I want to do is I want to find some images that I can use to embed data. And I actually already downloaded 3 images. Actually, I have not downloaded them to my Linux system, but I'll go ahead and show them to you here. If I open up my browser, okay, and I go to my personal website, which is professorsalazar.com. Okay, this is just a personal website that I created, but there is another folder on my website that if I type in /images, it'll show you 403, but there's actually 3 images on this site, or should I say within this folder. If I type in cyber1.jpg, this is an image that I grabbed from the web. And this is just a picture of some type of a cybersecurity logo. If I type in cyber2.jpg, here's another image of some type of a logo representing cybersecurity. If I type in a number 3 for cyber3.jpg, here's a third image that I downloaded off of the web, and I saved them over on my website. All right. So I have 3 images, cyber1, cyber2, and cyber3. I'm going to be using these 3 images and saving them onto my Linux computer so that I can embed data using Steghide. All right. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to close this out. And here within my Linux system, I already applied updates. So the next step is to create a directory for my data that's going to be embedded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new directory by typing in mkdir, and I'm going to call this new Steghide. All right, just like that. Now, how do I know that that folder exists? If I type in ls, it actually shows it to me in blue right here, okay? And it's just a folder called new Steghide. I'm actually going to go into that folder by typing in cd, the name of the folder, right? So cd just stands for change directory. So I'm going to change my directory to this folder called new Steghide. And the next step is to create a file in here with data that's private or should be protected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in sudo nano very underscore secret underscore file.txt. And what this is going to do is it's going to create a file using the nano text editor called very secret file.txt. And when I hit enter, this is the file that doesn't have any data in it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start entering data into this file. So I'm going to type in, hi, this is a very secret file. The contents should not, the contents should not be shared with anyone. And I'm going to type at the end by, just like this. Now here I'm going to type in Control X, Y, and enter, which is the same as typing in file and save. Okay. So I just saved my file that has data in it now. Now, how do I know that there's data in there? Well, I can always type in the command cat followed by the name of the file, and it's going to show me what I just typed, right? If I want to open the file again and write new data, I can open it just like that using the sudo nano followed by the file name to enter data in again. I can type Control X to exit out, right? And notice here how I typed in cat and it actually showed me the data. So what I'm going to do next is, because I already have some files and folders on my website, the next step is to download those pictures onto my computer. All right, so let me be clear about this. I have 3 images that are located on my website. I'm going to download those 3 images. Actually, I don't even need 3. I just really need just 1. I'm going to go to my website, download 1 image, save it onto my Linux computer, and then I'm going to embed data into that image, okay? So the next step is to download the image from my website. And I'm going to type in a command called wget, followed by the name of the website, https://Professor Salazar/images/cyber1.jpg. Okay. So let me just repeat what this is doing. It's going to download my image called cyber1 from my website. Okay. And I'm using the wget command in order to do this. Once I hit enter, it's going to go out to my website and try to download this image. And if for some reason it doesn't work, I can always try, see how it says it failed right here? That's because I forgot to put the .com at the end of Professor Salazar. So I'm going to retype it with professorsalazar.com/images/cyber1.jpg. All right, so let's check to see if it works now. And there it is. It just downloaded this image called cyber1.jpg onto my Linux computer from my website. How do I know that it's on my Linux computer? Well, if I type in ls, I see that I have a cyber1.jpg image and a very secret file.txt file. Okay. So right here, you could see it in pink right here. I just downloaded my image from my website to my Linux computer inside my new Steghide folder that I created earlier. So if I want to embed the contents of this file, this text file, into this image, I need to install a tool called Steghide. And the next step is to type in the command to install Steghide. So I'm going to type in sudo apt install Steghide, and I'm going to add a -y at the end so it doesn't require me to continue. Okay, sudo apt install Steghide space -y at the end. And now it installed Steghide on my computer. The next step is to use this command in order to embed data to my image. So I'm going to type in Steghide embed space -cf space the name of my image file, which is cyber1.jpg, space -ef space the name of my file that has the data I need to embed, which is very_secret_file.txt. So let me kind of explain what these switches are doing. I'm using a tool called Steghide to embed data, and I'm using the -cf flag so that it's for the cover file that's used to embed data, and it's going to embed data into this particular image. The -ef is the flag that you use to embed a file, okay? Or should I say the file that will be embedded. So here's the -ef, and here's the name of the file that I'm using that has data. So basically what I'm doing here is whatever's inside very_secret_file.txt, I'm going to embed it into this image called cyber1.jpg, okay? So here I'm going to hit enter, and it's asking me for a passphrase. And this passphrase is sort of like a password that you would set up in order to decrypt the data, or should I say extract the data after you embed the data, okay? So I'm just going to enter something easy like password 123, and let's see if it works. Password 123. And by the way, this is all lowercase, password 123. It shows me that it's embedding very_secret_file.txt in cyber1.jpg, and it shows done at the end. So right there, I know that the image has the contents of very_secret_file inside the image. You wouldn't be able to tell just by looking at the image. But believe me, there's data that's been hidden inside the image, okay? Okay, now, let's say, for example, that I don't want anybody to have access to very_secret_file.txt. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it by typing in rm, the name of the file. And it's asking me if I want to remove it. I'm going to type a Y to remove it. And basically, I just deleted it from my system. If I type in ls to view it, it's no longer there. The only thing that I have inside my new Steghide folder is this image called cyber1.jpg. But just like I said earlier, there's contents within that image, okay? Now, let's say, for example, you're hiding data, like you're doing it for good reasons, not for anything malicious. But let's say, for example, you want to hide data because you have some data that needs to be protected. Then what you can do is you can use Steghide to embed data within an image, and then nobody would be able to read it. All right. This is what you would call steganography, the ability of hiding data within an image. And for good reasons, of course. I mean, you would never want to do something for malicious purposes. But the ability to protect data is really important. It's the reason why our plain text, or I'm sorry, it's the reason why our passwords are never set up in plain text. Our passwords that we use on a daily basis to log into our email or log into our social media accounts or log into work somewhere, they're never actually shown in plain text. They're always masked by a hash. And that hash is actually being used to encrypt your real password, right? And it's not so easy to just look at a hash and say, oh, okay, I see what you're using. You're using password 123 as your password. Hashes are set up so that they can be used to encrypt your data. In this case, what I'm doing using Steghide is I'm not only, well, I don't want to use the term encrypt, but I'm embedding data from a file into an image so that nobody can read it. It's sort of like encryption here. All right. I've had people ask me before, why should I care about keeping things hidden or keeping things private, right? Or I've had people ask me, well, why should I even care about privacy at all? I have nothing to hide. And what I usually tell them is privacy is not about having something to hide. Privacy is about having something to protect. And that thing you're protecting is your own personal property or your own personal data. Okay? Think of it as, for example, if you live in a home and you have a privacy fence in the backyard, it's not that you're trying to hide something, it's that you have something that needs to protect or that you need to protect. Let's say, for example, you don't have a home and you either have an apartment or some type of dwelling. You may have curtains, to close or open around your windows. Well, why do you have curtains? For the same reason, for privacy. Sometimes you may want to be private within your own home, so you close your curtains, right? And when you close your curtains, it's not that you have something to hide inside your home, it's that you're having something to protect inside your home. So please remember that. Privacy is not about having something to hide. Privacy is about having something to protect. Okay? Now, I'm going to move forward with this lab, but this particular cyber1.jpg file actually has data that's embedded in it. And you wouldn't be able to tell just by looking at it. But what you would be able to tell is that it's a little bit larger than the picture itself. All right. And what I mean by that is if I type in ls space -l, it's going to show me the contents of that file and how large it is. So you notice that it says 35,386. Well, that basically tells me that this file is not just some plain old ordinary JPEG file. It's actually, it's sort of like it weighs a little bit heavier than your ordinary file because it actually has data that's embedded in it. And how do I know that there's data in it? Well, I wouldn't be able to tell just by looking at the photo or just looking at this image. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to extract the contents of the data from that image. And I'm going to type in the following command to do this. Steghide extract -sf space the name of my file. And it's asking me for the passphrase. So here, if I don't know the passphrase, I will not be able to extract the contents of whatever is hidden within that image. Because I do know the password, I'll be able to extract the data from it. So what I'm going to do is type in password 123. And now I see that the data has been extracted, called very secret file.txt. And if I type in ls, it actually shows it to me here. So where before it didn't show it to me by typing ls, now when I type in ls, after I extracted it, it shows it to me. And now I can use the command cat very secret file.txt, and it's going to show me what was hidden within that image. Okay. All right, that's basically all I wanted to show you today. I wanted to show you how you can use a tool called Steghide to embed data within an image. And what this is called is steganography. Steganography falls under a different form of cryptography. If you've ever heard of cryptography before, it's basically the ability of using keys or using encryption in order to hide data from people that should not be able to see that data. And more specifically, let's say, for example, you're logging into a website. Well, please make sure that whenever you log into that website, that the URL changes from HTTP to HTTPS. If it does change to HTTPS, then it's using something called a certificate, and that certificate has a public key, and that public key is being used to encrypt your data when you log into a website, okay? And that's what you would call symmetric cryptography. There's also forms of asymmetric cryptography where one key is used to encrypt data and another key is used to decrypt data, which is a public key to encrypt and a private key to decrypt. All right. So thank you all for watching this video, and I hope you hit the like button. I'll see you